Good morning and welcome to Channel 44. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful week that the Lord has made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it. I'm Mercy Gashegu Sembatia to bring you this morning's news update live here on Channel 44. I'll be joined later on by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. Well, we'll start with what's happening in today's newspapers. Payroll scam costs taxpayers billions. This shows loopholes. Even with the increased adoption of automated systems to detect and curtail corruption, unscrupulous officials still escape the checks, fleeing taxpayers of billions of shillings. It's in today's Daily Monitor. And also, IGG rewards a monitor for exposing thieving officials. They were given 32 million shillings, 32.5 million shillings. The Daily Monitor was awarded 32.5 million shillings for exposing thieving officials. Details of the story are in today's Daily Monitor as the Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister Norbert Mao and the Inspector General of Government Miss Betty Kamya hand over a dummy check of 32.5 million shillings to the NMG Uganda's General Manager, editorial Mr. Daniel Kalinechi in Ibanda on Friday last week. And in other news, a short traffic officer sues government and soldiers. 4 die in Buhweju gold mine accident. Exercise to keep hypertensions at bay, according to experts. And also, in today's sports segment of the Daily Monitor, Morocco makes it 4th time lucky for Africa. Health living, even occasional binge drinking. Binge drinking could harm your health. Albinos seek tougher laws to protect them. American couple remanded over torturing 10-year-old baby in today's Daily Monitor. Allow me to take you into the New Vision. 41,000 schools face sanctions. Ministry says only 31,754 beat registration deadline. Umeme exit. 2,100 jobs at stake. About 2,140 jobs will be at stake when Eskom Uganda Limited and Umeme Limited concessions expire in March 2023 and March 2025, respectively. Get yourself a copy of today's New Vision and see on page 8. State House probe veterans' pay. The government has instituted an investigation into allegations that money meant for paying the Luwero Triangle veterans may have ended up in the hands of masqueraders. Museveni tips African Army officers on commercial farming. District engineers and the sport over forged accountability. Get to know which giveaways the New Vision has this festive season, and it announces the first magical Christmas winners. Well, I will now go straight into today's international news update. I'll now be joined by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. In today's international news, the United States has imposed sanctions on more than 40 people and entities for alleged rights abuses from 9 countries, including Guinea's former President Alpha Conde and Karim Keita, son of former Malian leader Ibrahim Boubacar Keita, Karim Keita. In a statement released on Friday, the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control said the announcement was the outcome of a thorough and multi-year investigation. Conde, who was deposed in a coup in September 2021, was sanctioned for his connection to serious human rights abuses. In northern Africa, a Libyan man suspected of making the bomb that destroyed Pan Am Flight 103 over the Scottish town of Lockerbie in 1988 is in U.S. custody, according to the law enforcement officials in Scotland and the United States. The families of those killed in the so-called Lockerbie bombing have been told the suspect, Abu Ajela Al-Marimi, is in U.S. custody, according to Scotland's Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service in a statement yesterday. In Europe, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has stepped up diplomacy over Russia's invasion of his country, holding talks with the leaders of the United States, Turkey and France amid protracted fighting on the Eastern Front of the 9-month-old war. While Zelensky has held frequent talks with U.S. President Joe Biden, French President Emmanuel Macron and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan since Russian forces invaded in late February, it is unusual for him to hold such discussions over a single day. And still about Ukraine, Ukrainian forces have struck a headquarters of a Russian Wagner mercenary group, according to the governor in exile of Luhansk in eastern Ukraine. Sai Haidai, a hotel where the group met in Luhansk, have been hit with major losses. The press was unable to independently verify Wagner's presence at the hotel. Fighting also raged in southern Ukraine over the weekend, with Russia targeting Odessa and Ukraine bombarding a target in the occupied city of Melitopol. Moving on, all flights have been suspended at Stansted Airport after it was forced to close its runway due to bad weather. Heathrow and Gatwick also cancelled and delayed flights after snow, ice and freezing fog swept the United Kingdom. A yellow weather warning remains placed for Scotland, London and southwest England until Monday morning, with the disruption set to continue. Trains have also been delayed and drivers want to take care after several motorway accidents. Stansted said last night its only runway was closed to allow for snow clearance due to weather conditions, and flights were suspended. Moving on, three women, including a friend of Italy's new prime minister, were killed when a man opened fire at a cafe in Rome, injuring 4 other people. Those inside were meeting as part of a local block's residents committee. Roberto Gualtieri, mayor of Rome, described the shooting as a grave episode of violence and said he would attend an emergency meeting today. A suspect, who is age 57, is in custody, and he has a history of disputes with some of the committee's members, according to reports. And in the world of environment, one of America's most active volcanoes has erupted again. Guatemala's Fuego volcano erupted yesterday, releasing a huge plume of ash and smoke in the air. The volcano overlooks the tourist city of Antigua and is one of the region's most active volcanoes. In June 2018, almost 200 people were buried by volcanic ash and mud during a violent eruption of Fuego. And in Peru, an airport has been closed and 2 people have been killed in violent protests. Pictures on social media showed smoke billowing from the airport in south of the country. 50 police officers and workers were surrounded by demonstrators at the airport, according to the Transport Ministry in a statement. Protests over the impeachment of President Pedro Castillo have continued in the capital, Lima. Police fired gas yesterday to disperse demonstrators in the city. And in Asia, South Korea's parliament has passed a motion calling for the dismissal of the interior minister over government's response in the Itaewon crash. Lee Sang-min has been facing mounting pressure to step down following the incident that killed 156 people and injured 152 others on the 29th of October. The opposition-controlled assembly passed the motion on Sunday. President Yoon Suk-yeol is widely expected to reject calls for his minister's resignation. And finally, the American Space Agency, NASA, has brought home its next-generation astronaut ship after a near 26-day mission to orbit the moon. The Orion capsule splashed down in the Pacific Ocean after a fiery re-entry into Earth's atmosphere and a descent that was further slowed by parachutes. Because this was a test, there were no people on board this time, but that will change for the next flight. NASA is planning even more complex missions with Orion, and this will start in late 2024 and include in 2025 and 2026 an attempt to put humans back on the lunar surface. Well, this brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. I remind you of the Karamoja dinner. Thank you for being part of helping the people of Karamoja. It's been it's been very good progress so far, and this time we want to make it special for the people of Karamoja this festive season. Join us once again by sending your seed to the numbers that will be available during the services. And tonight there's going to be a dinner in honor of the people of Karamoja, a dinner aimed at giving to the people of Karamoja and blessing them this Christmas. There is no better place to sow your seed this Christmas. Come join us. A table goes for 1 million shillings, and individually you need to pay 120,000 tonight at the Miracle Center Cathedral. It's going to be a sumptuous dinner that has different cuisines from different parts of the world. So come and have fun in the presence of God. God bless you. The Pastors Now program is up next with different pastors as they bring us testimonies of people that have been blessed during the services here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. Good morning.